Rovers remain in the top 6 after Coventry were dealt a massive blow, getting battered by Luton Town. But can anything stop Bournemouth on the Baggies? We'll take a look at it next. Right folks, back once again in a predictive video today. We're looking forward to match number 11 over in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button and get your bag up to date with all things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We got it all here under Wild Rooskies. Of course, we're on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon as well. So make sure you check those badges out. But we've got a lot to talk about, so let's get cracking. No further ado. Let's first and foremost kick it all off with, of course, the last results this past midweek, as we head, of course, into this weekend's action, and then, of course, into the international break. Cardiff getting battered left, right, and centre. 4-0 loss this time to the Baggies, of course. It must be must-win time now for Mick McCarthy, especially heading into the international break. He'll be looking over his shoulder. He could be giving his UB40, that's right, or whatever, or P45. Anyway, Middlesbrough did get a massive result against Sheffield United. I did see it. 2-1 win for me. 2-2 win was the final score. Huddersfield just edged Rovers. 3-2 win, a 5-goal thriller with a 2-2 draw myself. Hull City and Blackpool duked out to a 1-1 draw. Happy with that. Meanwhile, the Nobbers, they drew with Stoke as well. 1-1 for them. 2-1 was my pick. QPR did beat Birmingham 2-0. I went with a 3-0. Derby did beat Reading 1-0, and I called it as well. Barnsley got beat by a revamped Nottingham Forest, who looked like they could start to click into top gear now. Fulham did beat Swansea 3-1, and I got that one bang on the bloody nose. Luton Town, we'll get to you in a minute. Millwall did beat Bristol City 1-0, big win for them. And Luton Town smashed it past Coventry. Did see them beat them. I didn't think they'll hit 5, but they did. And of course, probably the result of the day, really. Peterborough making a draw against Bournemouth. Wow, wow, wee, wow, indeed. Let's take a look at the table as it stands. Here it is. Of course, West Brom are leading the charge with Bournemouth, level on points, 22 for the time being. Fulham are not too far away, as are Coventry, of course, who suffered that big defeat. Stoke in 5th. Rovers remain in the top 6 on goal difference. Huddersfield are just behind them, as are QPR. Down the foot of the table, Derby with that negative. Well, actually, they were on +1 now. Hull City got 23 points, and Peterborough are 22nd. They are the 3 teams going down, but I think you could probably put Barnsley in the conversation, and you probably eventually could put Reading in that conversation, who are, where are they? They are... Where are Reading? They're 11th right now, but I think they're going to get a 9-point deduction maybe, which will of course drag them down to 4 points, but I don't know when that's going to be into full effect. But anyway, let's get going, take a look at the prediction league. Here it comes. I don't even know what I got. But the kingpin this week is Luke and Creamy Jordan with 8 out of 12. Not too shabby there. Of course, John Hansworth, Russell Frost, Jim Wooten, of course, patrons in there. Damien Heaven, Zooted, Conor Medlin, and of course, Deep the Great in there with the bronze medal spot. But what about the overall grand scheme of things? This is what it looks like right here, right now. It is Creamy Jordan at the moment with 59 points. Max Sengardi's also up there with 56. Conor Medlin also with 56 as well. Then the chasing bloody pack. What about the predictor of the month? We are now edging into the month of October. Of course, this past week's matches, of course, are the final ones of the month of September. So we do have a new predictor of the month. What is the predictor of the month? Well, I'll tell you. Of course, the winner of the predictor of the month gets a Willy Wonka style golden ticket to go into a prize draw at the end of the season. Of course, you can win multiple months, but you could also be a multiple winner as well. For example, we could have 2 guys, 3 guys, 17 guys winning the month of September. And of course, if you are one of those 17, of course, you'll be in the hat for the draw at the end of the season. Of course, at the end of the season, the prize will be likely a $10 gift card or t-shirt or something along those lines, of course. So hopefully you can get the gist of that. But so far, the predictor of the month for the month of September, here it is, coming at you. It's DJC86. Well done to you. You joined Clemmy Jordan 15 up there with in the predictor of the month. So far, so good for 2 months. 2 months in, those are the 2 names that'll be in the hat at the end of the season. Can there be more? Or will it be just these 2 guys on a repetitive basis? You just don't know. But anyway, let's take a look at the next round of matches for using the code CUTLEY4/Championship. It is free to enter, but let's get into it. Of course, kick it all off with Bournemouth up against Sheffield United. A bit of a banging match, this match. Of course, both of these 2 sides in the Premier League in recent seasons. I would say last season, but they weren't. Anyway, pretty sure the 6th time since 2011. We've got 5 wins for Sheffield United, nothing for Bournemouth, and it's been 1 draw so far. Of course, Bournemouth come into this though, unbeaten the last 6. Meanwhile, Sheffield United 2 wins and 2 defeats at the past 4 games. Pretty shitty, kind of hokey kind of form at the moment. However, Sheffield United have beaten Bournemouth the biggest time over the course of time. It was a 5-3 win. Last time played over at the Vitality was a 1-1 draw back in the Premier League in August 2019. Bournemouth coming to us on the back of that draw against Peterborough. Sheffield United coming to us on the back of that loss against Middlesbrough. Odds on this one, 2019 on is your Bournemouth, 5-2 is your draw, 3-1 is your long shots. That's Sheffield United. 2-1 win though for the Cherries for me to take it to the house. Next, of course, we're Birmingham against Nottingham Forest, of course. Revitalised Nottingham Forest, played each other 35 times since 1993. 10 wins for Birmingham, 14 for Forest, and 11 draws. Biggest win for Birmingham, 2-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. Of course, Birmingham coming into this just one win in 6. Meanwhile, unbeaten the last 3. That's Forest, of course, on the resurgence. Last time I played each other at St Andrews was a 1-1 draw back in April 2021. Of course, Birmingham coming into this on the back of that loss against QPR. Forest coming to this on the back of that win against Barnsley. However, Birmingham haven't scored in 3 matches. Picking up a couple of defeats, a couple of 3-0 losses in there, and of course the draw to Preston. Lee Bowyer having a bit of a rough patch. 11-10 is your Birmingham, 14-5 is your Forest, 21-10 is your draw. Birmingham are your favourites on this one, but it could go either way. I'm going to go with the 1-0 win for Birmingham to take to the house. Next up, of course, we have the Lancashire affair. Of course, is Blackpool up against Blackburn Rovers up at Bloomfield Bloody Road. Played each other 13 times since 2010. 1 win for Blackpool, 8 for Rovers, 4 draws. Biggest win for Blackpool, 2-0 win. The biggest win for Rovers, 3-0 win. Both coming to this 58% form. Of course, Blackpool unbeaten the last 3. Rovers just 1 defeat in the past 6 for them. Of course, last time played each other at Bloomfield Road was a 4-2 win for Rovers back in League One. That was back in November 2017. Blackpool coming to us back of that draw against Hull. Blackburn coming to us on the back of that loss against Huddersfield Town. Odds on this one, 2-1 is your Blackpool, 29-20 is your Rovers, 23-10 is your draws. Tight on the odds, but I'm going to give it to Rovers 3-2, another goal fest, and maybe some Diaz goals to give him double digits. Next, of course, Cardiff up against Reading, must-win game for Mick McCarthy, you'd think. Heading into this one, played 32 times in 2003, 7 wins for Cardiff, 12 for Reading, and 13 draws. Biggest win for Cardiff, 2-0 win. The biggest win there, the was a 5-1 win. Just 1 win in 6 for Cardiff at the moment. Reading coming to this 1 defeat the past 5, of course, as they try to climb a table, even though with that impending points deduction hanging over their head. Last time they played over in Wales, of course, was a 2-1 win for Reading back in September 2020, around about this time last season. Of course, coming into this, though, Cardiff back-to-back games, back-to-back defeats. In fact, 3 defeats on the bounce, 4 defeats on the bounce. But, of course, back-to-back games, they've conceded 9 goals in those two, combined in those 2 games. Reading did lose to Derby last round. The odds on this one, Cardiff coming at you, even Stevens to the victory, 25 is your draw, 14-5 is your away win. That's, of course, Reading on this. Going to go with a 1-1 draw, which probably won't do enough for Cardiff. They might seek the changes heading into the international break. Let's, of course, have high-flying Coventry up against high-flying Fulham. Played each other 0 times in recent times. This is a strange one. Heading into this, of course, Coventry just 1 defeat past 5. Meanwhile, just 1 win in 4 for Fulham as they try to turn a bit of turn a corner at the moment. Of course, Fulham did beat Swansea last time round, 3-1 win. Meanwhile, Coventry did get battered by Luton 5-0 last time round. Of course, the odds on this one, 5-2 is your Coventry, 11-10 is your Fulham, and 5-2 is your draw. So look, Fulham are your favourites on this one. But I've gone with a 1-1 draw. Bounce back ability for Coventry. And of course, a bit of a kink in the armour for Fulham once again. Next, of course, Derby, of course, who are grinding out the results, even though they've got that they had that massive points deduction at the start of the season. Anyway, they played each other, these 2 sides, 12 times since 2008. 4 wins for Derby, 3 for Swansea. 5 draws. Of course, a Derby counter coming to this, just 1 defeat in the past 4 for them. As for Swansea, just 1 win in 6, both in around about 50% form. However, Swansea 42% form. Last time they played each other over in at Pride Park was a 2-0 win for Derby back in 16th of December 2020. It was a 2-0 win for Derby. Derby did beat Reading last time around. Swansea did lose to Fulham 3-1 last time around. The odds on this one, Derby 31-20 for the victory, 2-1 is your Swansea, 21-10 is your draw. It's very, very tight across the board on this one, but I've gone with the 2-1 for Derby. Another 3 points, and you know what? They might do this. You know, they might actually stick around. Rooney has them grinding out results at the moment, which of course is fair play to him. I still think they should go down just to clean the blocks. And of course, everyone will see them in a different regard then. Anyway, played Barnsley up against Millwall now. Played each other 26 times since 1993. 14 wins for Barnsley, 8 wins for Millwall, and 4 draws. Barnsley come to this without winning 6. Meanwhile, Millwall just 1 win in 6 for them. Both of them in a bit of trouble. But the biggest wins over each other was a 4-1 win. Of course, last time played each other over at Oakwell was a 2-1 win for Barnsley. That was back in February 2021. Barnsley did lose to Forest last round. Millwall did pick up a win against Bristol City to give them a bit of a boost. Of course, look at the odds on this one. 7-4 is your Barnsley, 7-4 is your Millwall, and 21-10 is your draw. 1-0 win there for Barnsley for this one. Put Millwall in trouble, that will. And Barnsley give them a bit of a boost. Hull City take on Middlesbrough in a north-east crunch clash. This one, these 2 sides have played each other 21 times since 2007. 7 wins for Hull, 10 for Middlesbrough, and 4 draws. Biggest win for Hull, 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way is a 3-1 win. Hull coming to this without a win in 6. Meanwhile, Middlesbrough just actually 2 defeats out of the past 4 games. 2 wins, 2 defeats out of the last 4. Of course, last time played over the K-Com. Also 2 wins for Hull back in July 2020 in the Championship. Hull did draw Blackpool last round. Meanwhile, Middlesbrough picked up a 2-0 win over Sheffield United. Look at the odds on this one. 2-1 is your Hull, 29-20 is Sheffield Middlesbrough, and 11-5 is your draw. I've gone with a 2-1 win for Middlesbrough on this one to take it to the house. Kicking on further is Luton Town up against the bloody punks that is Huddersfield Town, locking horns at the Kenilworth Road this coming Saturday as well. These two sides played each other 11 times since 1995. 3 wins for Luton, 4 for Huddersfield, and 4 draws. Biggest win for Luton, 3-0 win. The biggest win was a 2-0 win. Luton coming to just 1 defeat the past 6 games. However, they've drawn 4 of them. As for Huddersfield, won 3, lost 3 of the last 6. Both in heading into this on 50% form. Last time they played each other over at Kenilworth Road was a 1-1 draw back in February 2021. The home side hasn't won this game since Luton Town beat Huddersfield in the Championship in 2019. Huddersfield did beat Rovers last time around. Meanwhile, Luton picked up a result against Coventry last time around as well. Look at the odds on this one. 65 is your Luton, 12-5 is your Huddersfield, and 23-10 is your draw. Luton are your favourites on this one, but I've gone with a 0-0 draw on this. Peterborough will take on Bristol City. They need a result. Of course, the fact that Derby have been deducted all their points has propped Peterborough up on this table. But anyway, these two sides played each other 19 times in 1993. Just 3 wins for Peterborough, 14 for Bristol City, and 2 draws. Of course, biggest win for Peterborough, 3-0 win. The biggest win away, also a 3-0 win. Peterborough just 1 win in 6. Meanwhile, Bristol City just 1 defeat at the past 6 games at the moment. Very, very good form at the moment for Bristol City. However, last time played each other over at the ABAC Stadium was a 3-0 for Bristol City back in League One in November 2014. Bristol City have actually won 1, 2, 3 on the bout against Peterborough. Of course, Peterborough did draw with Bournemouth. Big result for them in the grand scheme of things. Meanwhile, Bristol City did lose to Millwall last time out as well. 64 is your Peterborough, 50-8 is your Bristol City, and 23-10 is your draw. I've gone with a 1-0 win for Peterborough to get the win. Of course, move the chains, and of course, maybe start climbing the table themselves. QPR will lock horns with Preston over at Loftus Road this coming Saturday. Played each other 28 times since the year 2000. 6 wins for QPR, 12 wins for Preston, and we've got 10 draws. The biggest win for QPR, 4-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 5-0 win. QPR coming to this just 1 defeat past 3 games. Meanwhile, Preston unbeaten the last 6, however, picking up 5 draws in the last 6 games. Last time they played each other over at Loftus Road, 2-0 win for Preston. In fact, the home side hasn't won this game since QPR beat Preston back in December 2019. Look at the odds on this one. 23-20 is your QPR, 13-5 is your away win, and 23-10 is your draw. I've gone with a 2-1 win for QPR on this one at home, and of course, maybe move the chains, maybe even into the playoffs. And then finally, we've got a bit of a clanger on our hands. It's Stoke City taking on high flyers, I think table toppers, West Bromwich Albion. It will take place at the Bet365, and of course, it will take place this coming Saturday. Now, these two sides have played each other 38 times since 1993. 20 wins for Stoke, 9 wins for the Baggies, and 9 draws. Of course, biggest win for Stoke, 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-0 win. Of course, Stoke coming to just 1 defeat the past 6 games, 67% form. Meanwhile, West Brom unbeaten the last 6. Of course, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws, 75% form. Of course, last night played at the Bet365, 2-0 win for the Baggies. In fact, the home side hasn't won this game since West Brom beat Stoke back in September 2018 at, of course, the Hawthorns. Of course, Stoke coming to this on the back of the draw against Preston. Of course, West Brom coming to this on the back of that win over Cardiff. 2 big wins on the bounce for West Brom. Look at the odds. I don't actually have odds, or do I? I do have odds going in favour of West Brom. They are the favourites. Of course, Stoke are the underdogs, and of course, the draw is in the middle of all that. I've gone with a 1-1 draw myself on this one to point split right down the middle. Of course, probably a big point for Stoke in the end. Anyway, that's my take on it. Of course, be sure to get your own picks in using the code CUTLY/Championship. Of course, we'll be back again next time around. Be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, Patreon as well. Make sure you check those badges out. But of course, we'll be back this weekend with a watch along for bloody Blackpool up against Rovers. Of course, you can join me live. Until then, I'll see you soon. Until then,